Welcome to Vlogmas 2025. Listen, I was watching Rashida Dow this morning, and she's doing a Vlogmas. So I wanted to do like a daily check-in type of short videos through the end of the year. But my idea was a challenge that I want to put out there to myself and people who love me, who watch my content. We are about 185 subscribers away from hitting 20K, 20,000. And I think I was mentioning that the other day, and then Greta, one of my very most faithful followers and also my Spanish student, she said, all I know is that I remember you were close to 4,000 and now you're close to 20,000. Well, that's called growth, right? And you guys know I put in the work. So I am hoping that you're going to help me by getting your friends and family to just hit that subscribe button. You know, I meet you guys on the Cinta Costera, on the metro, at the metro station, at the restaurant, wherever I go, at the mall. They're like, hey, we want you, we want you. I'm like, oh, thank you. And my next question is, are you a subscriber? Because listen, even though for the YouTube algorithm nowadays, it's not so much the number of subscribers, it's the number of views and how many commercials that you watch. That's how we get the little coin. And you know, I'm telling you, YouTube is not a business like that until you hit a certain amount, you know, like Stephanie Perry getting almost 200,000 subscribers. You know, she's getting a steady check pretty much, right? But the goal, the way you use social media is really to feed your other businesses. And last night I was writing down my 2026 goals, and it's like I was getting excited just writing things down. I feel like I need to kind of bring things together a little bit more. 2025 was a year of building a brand. And I think SWRA has become a brand. So there are a lot of things I'm going to be doing next year, and I'll share some of those with you, not today, because I'm still redefining in my head, and I need to find like a coach to help me time myself as to what needs to come first, because I am not an impulsive kind of person. I'm a planner, as you know, all right? So we're gonna, you know, people know SWRA and they know what it's about. So it's time to capitalize on that. And I'm very, very grateful and humble. But I need you to hit that subscribe button. I need you to get people. I mean, I think it would be great at the end of 2026 to reach 50K. It is not impossible, but YouTube requires a lot of work. And I was sitting there this morning and I'm like, you gotta do this, gotta do that. I'm putting things on the calendar and I think on my phone, and I'm like, why am I so scheduled? It's like you got this every day. And I'm like, but I love it, don't get me wrong. But right now, today, I wish I was at a resort on the beach and just sitting, having a massage or something. Because sis, last week kind of did me in. I mean, I was sore and tired. Today, I am feeling like myself. And today is Wednesday, almost a week later. It took that long to unwind all the tightness. Okay, so the Vlogmas, what we're gonna do every day, I think I don't want it to be more than 15 minutes. It's words of encouragement, and I'm gonna start with telling you what is happening in Panama, because I'm here and I'm kind of your eyes and ears if you're not here. And if you're here, maybe you want some, you know, little nuggets of advice, because, you know, there are a lot of us, what do we call, creators in this space. And a lot of people are doing a lot of different things. Okay, so for Christmas, we as a group SWRA, we don't have anything planned because we stopped having meetings in November and in December because a lot of sisters are traveling. And so we usually don't have anything, and we're not gonna have anything in November and December, but we did have Friendsgiving. That's probably one thing. And then this coming weekend, we are having our Mother's Day retreat, because in Panama, Mother's Day is December 8th, which is my firstborn's birthday. And there is a history behind that. And I think in the next couple of vlogs, I'll tell you, it was a president's wife who decided to change it from the second Sunday in May, which is where most people celebrate Mother's Day, and it need to coincide with a saint's celebration or birthday or something like that. Because, you know, Panama is very religious, and tradition is important. So that's Mother's Day. So that's what we're doing for December. But then after the retreat, December is going to be the time where we get together and kind of solidify what we're going to be doing next year. Our topics for our every third Thursday meetup. So if you're coming to Panama, just know that we meet every third Thursday, and those will be posted on the Facebook page. And next year, we will have our own website, right? Last night, I was looking at names, possible names that are available for the website. So I'm going to put a poll on the YouTube page and also on Facebook for some ideas as to what we need to call the web page. And on that web page, and I'm thinking of merchandise and all the things I can put on there that, you know, that are unique to us as a sisterhood, right? Because it's not just t-shirts, you know, we're so much more than that. So, Mother's Day. And then we're gonna get together, we're gonna do like a skills assessment of the membership, because people have different abilities, and I want to engage them and get them to bless us, you know, with their skills. You know, like I do a lot, you know, for SWRA, but you know, like Sonia is administrative, and she's helping with the clusters. And we have a lot of other sisters with skills that we may not be aware of. And I think it's a way to keep everybody engaged to do that. So what else is happening in Panama? Yesterday there was fireworks, and it was sister said, "What are we celebrating now?" And I'm like, we don't need a reason to have fireworks in Panama. You could have a birthday party and decide to have fireworks, and it's totally legal, okay? I know different groups are having New Year's Eve gatherings and parties. I've never been one to do that. I used to always be in church on my knees when the new year would come. So even when I'm watching the ball from New York City, I would be on my knees, you know, thanking God for bringing me through another year. And that's what I do. I don't go to parties. I'm not drinking on New Year's Eve. It's just thank you, God, for keeping me this year, and thank you for bringing me through another year. And that's what I'll be doing. But I know them butlers are having, I think I saw something like a rooftop kind of event. If you're into that, I'm sure Daiquiri 23 is having an event. You see those kind of things, they're not my thing. I don't do those things. Big Whale usually does a cruise, you know, with music and booze and stuff. So that's that. And I know Beep, Charlotte Van Horn, sometimes she had a cruise a year or two before, and then she got a sister cruise or something coming in January. So, you know, just go on their Facebook pages, and they'll be posting those things. So if you want things to do, you will find things to do in this city. The American Trade Hotel usually does a lot of live music stuff. You're gonna have that. A lot of the rooftops, definitely. Casco Viejo, I'm sure gonna be popping. Let's see. Emotions Theater on Balboa always has live shows, and I can imagine that they wouldn't have something for New Year's Eve. So you're gonna have choices galore. All right, and of course, there are gonna be fireworks, which I'm grateful that where I am, I can see the fireworks. I think you can see fireworks almost, you know, everywhere in the city if you have a little height. Okay, let's see. And I think in January, like the 9th, is a somber day for Panama because they're celebrating the martyrs. I think it was the kids who were killed in that confrontation with the Americans in the Canal Zone area, and that's a somber day for them. And then after that, it's gonna almost be time for Carnival. So, this is life in Panama. They're happy, but they're very cognizant of their history and what happened. So what is the work of encouragement for today? And I can tell you to be grateful, but this is a skill. This is something that you have to intentionally work on. The people who would say, well, oh my God, it's a beautiful day. And they'll say, what's beautiful about it? Those people that you're afraid to say, how are you doing today? Because they'll tell you. You know me and my laughter. I'm a positive person. And I can't say that I've always been like that. Because I remember as a kid being I was a crybaby. I was a crybaby. I mean, you would say boo, and I would boo. My mom used to do that. My mom used to say, if I did something wrong, she'll say, go in there and kneel down. So I'm going in there. There's no AC. I'm on my knees. I'm sweating. And I remember my mom coming in saying, oh, look at her. Why even need to touch her? So I'm sitting on the patio, so you're gonna hear a little noise. But I wanted to wear my shades, I love my shades, and some of you like these. So, but anyway, so I was a crybaby, right? But I'm generally a positive person. And I dread when things happen where I'm anxious and worried. And I would say I try not to worry too much, but I would be lying to you if I said I don't worry about certain things. And that certain things don't upset me. These days, my tears are never too far away because of the sheer amount of injustice and inequities that we are faced with. I was reading this about this 18-year-old girl who was pregnant in Texas, and I think she had a stillborn. Her baby was dead, and she went in a couple of emergency rooms saying she had pain, and they said she was having strep throat. The one in sent her away. Another emergency room, she tested positive for sepsis. Probably did some lab work, and her white count probably was really high. And her sepsis means that when your white count goes really, I think so, really low, and then it's like you have a raging infection. My nursing is like, eh. And that she tested for sepsis and they did not admit her, and then she died. 18 years old, because they were worried about the abortion laws in the state. And then, these kind of things just break your heart that human beings have no value when it comes to money and following a certain protocol that benefits the strong and the rich and the powerful. And human beings are not even peons, in the scheme of things, in the game of life. And these kind of things absolutely break my heart. And this is where I have to talk to myself, and I have to say, regardless of that, I cannot give in to despair, right? And when I see someone, like I saw this young man in the midst of all the inequities and young Black bodies hanging from trees and, constant police brutality and stuff, and then this young man saying, he's a doctor and he realizes what the racism in healthcare, in medicine, and that Black folks were diagnosed with end-stage renal failure, or whatever their kidney issues are, but they're not going to be put on that transplant list because they just add a little something in the algorithm to make us look worse or whatever. But he found that, and then he started talking about it, make people more aware, and then people starting to get put back on the list. So things like that just give you give you hope. And sometimes you have to look for it. You have to look for it. But you know that if you don't look for it, then it affects you, your mental health. This is self-care, you guys. When I say self-care, I'm not just talking about walking, which I do. I'm not talking about eating right, which I do. But this thing here, you got to take care of it. And one sure way to do that is to be thankful and to look for the positive in the midst of, the crime, the brutality. You got to look for it and hang on tight, sis. You have got to hang on tight because this sinking ship, this world is going to suck you in and take you down with it. And we can't allow that, okay? Let's see. All right, 18 minutes. I passed my 15 minutes. So this is Vlogmas Day 1 on December 3rd. Remember, this is the goal. I'm going to remind you every single time. 20K by December 31st. I'm not taking anything else. Nope. No change, no excuses. Go get your friends, your grandparents, I don't know, your dog. Make sure you subscribe so you help your sister out. If you want me to remain in this space, you got to help me, okay? All right, so I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to interview a sister. The video won't be ready. This is going to be a long video, so it's not going to be part of the Vlogmas. Vlogmas are like the short and sweet ones. We're going to be checking in every day. I'm going to tell you what's happening, but the long video, and then I'm trying to interview another sister, so look for those, all right? I choose to be happy. I choose to be grateful, and I hope you do the same, all right? God loves you. I love you. Bye.